Greetings, everyone. This is the Gardening Snail of Livingston, California, just trying to keep the community informed and local government as honest as possible. On November 18th, 2021, there was a joint meeting of the City Council and the Recreation Department. The topic, a discussion of parks and facilities fee increases, youth sports fee increases, and facility rentals. The discussion included a PowerPoint presentation with the proposed changes highlighted in yellow. It was not intended as an all-or-nothing package deal. The meeting was to have the discussion and make changes if necessary. After a brief introduction to the 4 classes of recreation activities, the first proposed change was discussed. This was the definition of Class II organizations or leagues as consisting of 51% verified residents, and the process by which residents would be verified. The reasoning behind the proposed change from 75% was that at the travel level, getting up to 75% was difficult. But if the council wanted to keep the 75%, if they did not want to accept the change to 51%, the time to say so would be during this meeting. After several more minutes of discussion, Mayor Aguilar asked if everyone was okay with this change, and there was no stated opposition. Another proposed change, the process for league facility reservations. Facilities would be rented on a quarterly basis, and any changes to planned usage would require 10-day advance notice. This would apply to fields that require staff. Leagues would not be required to pay for the entire quarter in advance. Payments at the end of each week would be acceptable. Another new item would be an additional $5 fee for non-resident students or players. While other municipalities may be charging 20% to 25% more to non-residents, the Commission was only asking for an additional $5. And that to make less of an impact on the general fund while keeping overall fees affordable. Highlighted here are the proposed new park and field rules to be added to recreation policies and posted at parks and fields. For youth baseball and softball, the per-player recommended fees would be $60 for lower division and $85 for upper division. If you look inside the red box, you'll see the park rental fees for picnic shelters and Memorial Park Stage. And you'll notice that Class 3 and Class 4 are the only groups affected. Rental fee does not include electricity. For field rentals requiring staff supervision, because of the recent increases in minimum wage, the city is not collecting enough to cover its personnel costs. The proposed fee increases are to cover these increases in the minimum wage and cover the cost of field prep, which takes 2 people. Field prep for Alvarez baseball field is not as detailed. Note, the city has not been doing field prep for soccer because of the cost. People have been doing it themselves. These new fees for facilities and services offered are to allow groups and teams to reserve an area to reduce conflict over who gets to use the facilities. For the batting cages, someone has to be there to supervise for liability reasons. Fees are to cover the cost of staff. The fees for the Max Foster 1/2 basin is to allow the area to be reserved for specific time periods. The proposed pool rental fees consider how lifeguards have to go through a $300 to $400 class to become certified, and note deposits are refundable. As the meeting was wrapping up, the interim city manager suggested that a fee study be commissioned sometime in the future. The cost of such a study would be somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. Commissioners responded that all a paid-for study would do would be to tell them what they already knew, that fees needed to be increased. So what would be the point of spending money to tell them what they already knew? Better to save that money and put it back into programs. Before the meeting ended, the council was asked for another joint meeting in the future to discuss park master plans and the kinds of things council might like to see incorporated into those plans. Any views or opinions I express on these videos are my own and do not represent the views or opinions of the City Council or City of Livingston. Unless, of course, I'm using direct quotes or video from City Council or other public meetings, then it's pretty obvious whose opinion is whose. Copies of source documentation available upon request.